Hi folks, Jack here with another survival podcast video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a handgun called the Crosman 1377. This is a variable pump, meaning that you pump it up, cock it, load it one time, fire it, type of pellet pistol. It's basically a scaled down version of a lot of the Crosman variable pump air rifles. It immediately makes me think of the Crosman 760, which is a very well known and well regarded low end variable pump air rifle. The reason I bought this is I wanted something that would pack away, that I could take to places when I go out, camping or out in the bush, and I would have something that was able to take small game where it would not be appropriate or legal to use a firearm. Also, I wanted something that was highly self-sufficient. In other words, as long as I have pellets, I can use it. It doesn't require CO2. And if something with some good knockdown power, something that could take game up to the size of squirrels, that would function well for the intended purpose. And I found this. Couple things before I go into the shooting. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shooting for you today. I actually have a miniature tripod. I'm going to set the camera up down at the target. I'm going to shoot some groups for you. And after I shoot the groups, I'm going to shoot some filled water bottles. More on that in just a second. What I'll tell you need to do if you buy one of these almost immediately is the sight is adjustable both drift and vertical. So in other words, just the rear side is just side to side and up and down. To get this weapon to shoot properly, what I've had to do is force the sight all the way as low as it'll go, and it shoots fairly well. Maybe still a little bit high with a full 10 pump on it at a range of 10 yards. We're going to be shooting at 30 feet or 10 yards here. So it does have to go all the way down. It's also a plastic sight, and while I found that the drift adjustment holds very well, the vertical adjustment actually, if it's loose, will allow the sight to move back and forth. Another thing I bought this for is because it's quiet, to eliminate some of the grackles that I have as pests in the backyard. So I sighted it in and I started getting rid of some of the grackles, and all of a sudden I started missing. And the first miss, I said, well, maybe it's me. The second miss, I said, I'm not sure, let me shoot this at a target. And I missed the target. Put up a piece of paper, and it was shooting way off. And I checked it, and that screw that it controls, and again, I'll show you, I'll get up close here for you. This screw right here that controls the vertical adjustment on this came loose. So what I did is I went back in, and I put some Loctite on that screw, and it has not backed out since that point. You'll also notice if you look right there, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a little hole for making this sight a peep sight. You basically remove this part of the sight and flip it around and turn it upside down, and then you have a peep sight where you're looking through a small hole. I have not found that practical for use with shooting as a pistol because you're standing offhand with a long eye relief, and actually we'll see how it does on the shooting, but it looks to me like I've actually had the sight move yet again on me. So we'll shoot for groups. I know I'll go ahead and check and make sure it's tight. Maybe it won't shoot dead on accurate, but we'll see what its group capability is. And I'm going to have to work on that sight a little bit more. I can see that right now, but I don't want to hold up on this video. So let me get the camera repositioned. I'll shoot some groups for you. Then we'll shoot some more exciting targets, and we'll see what it's capable of doing. Okay, well, I'm back, and I know those shots might not have looked like the most impressive shots, but I did take them offhand. I took them at 30 feet. There is some wind out here. The new mic really cuts that out, but I don't know, maybe you can see the trees going behind me. I'm pretty overall pleased with the way that this pistol performs at its intended ranges for what it is. Again, this is a $30 gun. This isn't a match-grade pistol. Also, I thought maybe you might not realize the size of these targets. These are 25-foot slow-fire pistol targets, so they're actually quite small. So that group's actually maybe a little bit smaller than it looked like online. This is a 3-shot group from the 5-pump group. I shot the first group at 5 pumps, second group at 10. As you saw, I shot 4 shots on the 10-pump group because I took 1 shot before I moved the camera, forgot to do it. But to give you a scale here, that quarter fits right about there in the 8 ring. 1 shot's inside the 10 ring. The other 2 shots are just outside the 8 ring. So that would certainly take out a squirrel or a bird or any type of game that this gun is ethically designed to be shot at. So now we're going to do something a little bit more fun. We're going to go ahead and shoot the promised colored bottles of green water. I have to tell you flat out, I don't know how this is going to work. Never done this before, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the camera up so that you're seeing the pellets come through at an angle like this, and I'll try to run each shot once in full speed and once in slow motion for you, so that we can not so much look at what it does to the plastic bottle, because come on, it's just a pellet here. Even with something I'm going to tell you about in just a second, it's still just a pellet. But what I really want to see is what we can see as far as the disturbance. What kind of shock value do we get as the pellet passes through the water? So I'll be playing these as slow motion as my film editing allows for you on the replay. So be looking out for that. So what are we going to do? We're going to actually fire two different guns for this test. Though first, I'm going to give you a baseline. This is a Beeman RS2 Sportsman. This is a very high velocity break barrel rifle. It fires 177 and 22 caliber. Maybe one day I'll do a review on this for you. Swap the barrel out to do that. Have the 177 barrel on it, so everything else is equal. So we'll see what twice the speed would do over this pistol. So I'll fire this one first for you, again at 1,000 feet per second. Then to give you an idea of the variable power and the different impact of this, if there's much at all to be seen, again, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to fire this pistol at 4 pumps. That's going to give an expected velocity of about 390 feet per second. I'm going to fire the second bottle I'm going to shoot at 6 pumps. That's going to do 450 feet per second. The last one, I'm going to put the full 10 pumps in it that's recommended. I'm going to shoot it, and that should be 515 feet per second. And we'll see what happens to these guys. Again, we're doing this together. I've never done this before. I don't know what's going to happen, but I thought it would be cool and a little more interesting than 10 minutes of me talking about every feature of a gun that's a $30 gun. So let's check that out. Let me reposition the camera. We'll see how it works out.